Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Coming up this week, Disney Cruise Line has released part of their 2016 itineraries this morning, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about that. The Sorcerer's hat at Disney's Hollywood Studios is going to the scrap heap finally, and 2 Disney cast members were fired after refusing to put on sweaty unitards. Those are Disney cast member problems. And a little later on, Dustin West and the team are going to discuss some of the most common mistakes people make when planning their Disney vacation. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 749 for the week of October 28th, 2014. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Sorry there was no intro music. At least for those of you watching live, it'll get put in post-production for the folks watching on YouTube and listening on iTunes. Coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, I'm your host, Pete Warner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi, Kevin Close, Jenny Lynn Knopp, Kathy Whirling, and back in the production nook, producer Dustin West and associate producer Craig Williams. A couple of things to talk about in housekeeping. First, I want to let everyone know that Sean Thompson is no longer working with us here at the Diz. It was a very amicable separation decision, and we wish Sean nothing but the best on what I'm certain will be a very bright career. So please join me in wishing Sean nothing but good luck. Also want to mention, I do it every week. He sends me the synopsis for the Disneyland show, and I forget to put it in my script. We have the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged every Thursday, DizUnplugged.com. And in just a moment, Dustin is going to tell you.
Is this the week where he hangs out in bathrooms or something weird?
Yeah.
Well, he did an article. He did an article on his favorite bathrooms at Disneyland.
Okay, yeah, that's the same thing.
I have it. On this week's Disneyland show, Brian from Mississippi is back for more trip planning advice and a segment recorded at the Arizona Diz Meet to benefit Give Kids the World, and the team talks about their favorite Disney souvenirs. And also, the grand total raised for the first Arizona Diz Meet was $1,540. So,
excellent.
Good job for them.
Everybody, congratulations.
Congratulations. Also want to remind everyone about the Diz Unplugged app for iPhone, Android, and Kindle devices. You can find it in the respective app stores. It's been doing very, very well. We've got an awful lot of people who have downloaded the app. So we're going to be making some changes to it coming up in the next couple of weeks. Nothing major, just going to be adding a few new features to it. But you can find that on the iPhone App Store, the Google Play Store, and the Amazon, whatever the hell they call it. I have no idea.
Store.
The Amazon store for apps and things that Amazon does. So what else do we have for housekeeping? I know we've got a few.
I have a couple things. Podcast Cruise 5.0 careening at us at an alarming rate. If you're signed up, if you're on the cruise, you should have received an email from me telling you how to sign up for your credentials and also book pre- and post nights, as well as transfers for the cruise if you're interested. We have to close out pre- and post nights and transfers at the end of this week, October 31st, so please go check out the thread on the Diz boards. It has a link to how you do all that stuff. But most importantly, you have to sign up for credentials so that we can get them produced and together for you. You can't get into any of the events unless we have...
Even if we know you.
Right.
We're not letting you in.
Especially if we know you.
You still have to show ID.
No credentials.
So please,
no ticky, no laundry.
Go do that now.
It's like when I go in the bank and they say, "Hi, Kevin. Do you have ID?"
I'm very excited. My mother is going to be hosting a little
Cheers.
little high tea.
Cheers.
Oh, that's
We
nice.
decided our welcome event is going to be high tea with Madeline. And it's a cute little menu we've got going on and stuff, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We got some other stuff planned. I know everyone is waiting for the schedule. I apologize. We're having a really hard time this year putting the schedule together with Disney Cruise Line, so please be patient. Hopefully we'll get something out within the next week or so, and you guys will know so you can plan your other stuff. I will say for sure, Jodie Benson will be performing the very first day, which is a C day, and she'll be doing it about noon. So if that helps anybody out, but we'll have exact information to come out soon.
Jodie Benson and High Tea with Madeline. It does not get better than that.
It is a classy cruise this time.
Oh my goodness.
My mother finally got a chance to spend some time with Jenny Lynn Sunday.
And I adore her.
And she adored you, let me tell you.
Goodness.
My mother absolutely loved you.
It was instant love.
Yeah. My mother absolutely adored Jenny Lynn. So, yeah, that'll be fun. I'm excited about that. Mom's going to sing and dance. She's got a whole routine planned.
She can work blue.
Yeah, she always
She's going to take
she always
Elaine
does.
Stritch's place, isn't she?
Yeah, she's going to step in for Elaine Stritch. So,
All right, well, that's it for me. Housekeeping.
all right, what else do we have?
I have one. So our one of our friends, Ian Glaubinger, he was on the show for Star Wars weekend episode, and he has a new Star Wars related item out that he produced, and it's the second in his series. So he came on to help promote his first one that was an Endor piece, and now he has one that's based on Empire Strikes Back, and it's Hoth, and so he just wanted to get the word out that it is
awesome.
available, and
It is
hopefully,
ridiculously cool.
It is.
yeah, it is.
And I'm particularly excited from a kind of an OCD collecting standpoint that he's making these planetary promotional posters. I just put up the indoor one yesterday, and it's awesome. So I can't wait to get my hands on this.
Yeah, so it's available at darkinkart.com, and I guess if he does well enough, then they'll let him make the last one, and then he'll have his complete series out. And I just hope that there's going to be more around at Star Wars weekends this year, because I know it was a big hit there.
Yeah,
so.
it was.
How could it not be? That's amazing
Isn't that
work.
cool?
Yes.
He's a great artist.
And he incorporated the Wampa and the Tauntaun.
I know.
That's great.
That's so good.
That's all I got.
All right, anything else?
Unless you wanted to mention
I am. Arizona meet coming up.
Delaware.
Delaware. What am I saying? Arizona. Delaware meet coming up the weekend, November 7th. Dustin, Craig, Jenny Lynn, and Kathy are going to be in attendance for that meet. I've got family in from out of town, so I'm going to be here, but rest of the team is going to be up there. So please, for more information on it, disunplugged.com. I'll have a link to it in the show notes page. Also on the Dis Unplugged forums, there's a sub-forum for Give Kids the World meets. All the meets that are scheduled are listed there with all the details and information you need, so you can head there and check that out as well.
Registration closes for their event November 4th.
Okay,
Everybody better be there.
that's right. All right, anything else? Am I missing anything? Nope. All right, I want to get to the poll results from last week. It was very, very interesting. We asked folks if you were planning to visit Universal Orlando on your next visit. And I don't know why I expected this to be different, but 43% of the audience said, no, I'm just staying at Walt Disney World. I expected that number to be a lot higher. I really did. 57% of you are planning on spending at least one day at Universal. 24% said they would go for the day. 26% said they were going to be doing a split stay between Disney and Universal. 7% are spending their entire vacation just at Universal Orlando. And I guess because for years, if I had asked this question 6 years ago, 5 years ago, it would have been like 90%, 100% staying at Disney.
Yeah.
And this is an example of the impact that Wizarding World has had, and I don't think we've seen the full impact of Diagon Alley yet. I know they just reported their earnings for the quarter that since Diagon Alley opened, and the numbers were, I don't have them in front of me, but I remember reading the article that
I believe it was 18% rise.
yeah, And when you consider that they had a 14% bump last year before at Universal Studios, not Islands of Adventure, at Universal Studios, that park saw a 14% increase in attendance last year before Diagon Alley ever opened. So I'm very interested to see what the numbers are going to look like.
It kind of ties in to one of our news stories about Hollywood Studios, but in contrasting those two parks, the way Universal, both Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, is not only just releasing these killer attractions, these Harry Potter things, they're also laying down a real groundwork. They're really transforming those parks, not just with Harry Potter, but with other attractions. Their cast has gotten better over the years. Their theming, their restaurants, everything has gotten better over the years. So it's not just those one killer thing.
No, it's absolutely, they've upped their game. No question. But I was very interested to see that our audience, which is it's a Disney audience, no question about it. 57% of you are planning to spend at least a day at Universal on your next trip.
I had butterbeer ice cream for the first time when we were on the FAM.
Oh, that's right. They have it in Diagon Alley.
Yes, in Diagon Alley. That's worth spending a day in the park just for that.
We had some agents who actually got butterbeer for breakfast.
Oh.
They decided that was not a good idea.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
For breakfast?
Oh, I had it with my breakfast, not for breakfast. But
that's what I meant, with their breakfast.
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
It was like drinking liquid syrup.
Yeah.
Wait, syrup is liquid. It was like drinking syrup with your breakfast. It was awesome.
It is not like drinking syrup with your breakfast. And its sugar content is similar to orange juice. So if you have a glass of orange juice with breakfast, you're having basically the same amount of sugar. Except orange juice is natural sugar where what's in butterbeer is refined. But
it was good.
There's that.
Well, I have a new favorite hotel.
Cabana Bay?
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
I'm in love.
But now I don't know. Are we talking about that in the news?
I didn't put it together. I didn't know if we were going to save it for the other show or not. But.
We should just mention that apparently something happened at Cabana Bay this morning.
Yep.
A hot
water line burst at about 4 a.m. this morning, and it flooded parts of the resort, and it also triggered the fire alarm. So when the fire alarm went off, some of the guests got out of their bed and stepped into scalding water. And only 2 guests needed to be taken to the hospital for minor burns. I don't want to, sensationalize anything, minor burns. But they did evacuate the buildings, and I believe there was mention of some of the drywall kind of disintegrating due to the hot water.
Yeah, well,
so they've
happen.
got some repairs that they need to do. But I agree with Kevin. The resort is amazing.
It is so in my frame of reference. It's everything I love.
Now all the rooms on that floor have hot tubs.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, John had said that the first time we did the tour. He said this will become Kevin's favorite resort in Orlando.
It's Miami in the 60s. It's Las Vegas with the Rat Pack. It's the Jersey Shore in its heyday. It's everything I love.
I feel like I'm in the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio.
If they would let me go through and if they would close their eyes and let me go through, I could furnish my entire house in that resort. I had a very small bag with me, and I could not take any of it with me. It's everything I love. I understand that there are hotels that offer more amenities. There are finer resorts. If I was staying, that's exactly where I would want to stay.
And I love it as well, but for me, it's Portofino. I absolutely adore Portofino. I love the rooms at Portofino. They're so beautiful. I didn't get a chance to see the renovated rooms, but I hear they're gorgeous. So, all right, that's enough of that. We're going to move on. Oh, but we do have to announce that since I didn't pick a winner last week, since we forgot to put the poll up, I picked 2 winners this week. Matt Zadell and Bob Hendricks. You both have $50 Disney gift cards coming to you. Got your information, and we'll be sending those out this week. So congratulations, and we'll have next week's poll by the end of the show if I think of what I want it to be.
Okay.
All right. So with that, we'll throw it over to Johnny with the news.
All right. Our first news story. Disney's Swan and Dolphin to undergo largest renovation in hotel's history. The Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Hotel is getting a $125 million multi-phased, multi-story upgrade. The project will consist of redesigning all the rooms of the 2 hotels with new furniture and technology that should help boost the marketability of the property. Quote, as we celebrate the hotel's 25th anniversary, it is appropriate that we mark the occasion with a renaissance of our room product. said General Manager Fred Sawyers in a prepared statement. It's expected the work will not disrupt the overall operations of the hotel. Renovations for 500 of the 758 Swan hotel rooms will be completed by the end of 2014. The first phase of the 1,509-room Dolphin Hotel renovations will begin in 2015. All of the renovations are expected to be completed by 2016.
And I've talked to a few people who have seen what these rooms are going to look like, and they are saying that this renovation is going to be unbelievable.
I thought the rooms were very nice the way they were.
They are, but it's it's time.
It's time for sure.
For every hotel at some point, you kind of go through the refresh over the years. You make sure you got new bedding, new furniture, things like that. But this is a ground up redesign. These rooms are being completely redesigned. I have not seen it. I have not. They are keeping this. I beg to see them. And I've been told we have to kill you. But I have talked to people who have seen it, and they have told me that it is absolutely spectacular. So I'm very, very excited about this. Yeah, the Swan has been undergoing these renovations, and I like the way they do it. They really kind of do their renovations at the Swan Dolphin. They block out a few floors, so it's not really affecting other guests, and they get those done, and they close down other floors. So anybody staying at the Swan by the end of the year is probably going to have at least a shot at being in a renovated room. So I'm very excited to see them. Very, very excited to see them.
Cool.
I agree. All right. Moving on to our second news story. It is confirmed Disney ditching iconic Sorcerer's hat at Hollywood Studios next year. The cheer goes over the crowd. Walt Disney World confirmed to the Orlando Business Journal that the 122-foot tall iconic Mickey's Sorcerer's hat at Disney's Hollywood Studios, which has been the centerpiece of the theme park since 2001, will be removed. Quote, work continues on bringing new experiences to life at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and we look forward to sharing more information at a later date, said Disney spokesman Brian Malenius, who declined to provide more details. News 13 reported sources said the hat will be removed in early 2015. There's no word yet on what Disney will put in place of the Sorcerer's hat, but the structure already has been taken off some park brochures and maps, as previously reported by the Orlando Business Journal. Yeah. And this is yet another change for one of Walt Disney World's theme parks, joining rumors that Hollywood Studios is clearing space for a major expansion that could be Star Wars related or another property in the Disney portfolio, as well as a recent announcement of Epcot's plans to replace Maelstrom with a new Frozen attraction. I think the hat is going to be replaced by, Elsa and Anna's big hat or something. Elsa and Anna's big Frozen hat.
No, it's going to be a 50-foot animatronic Bob Iger statue.
Bring
money. Nice.
I'm really happy to see this thing go.
Yeah.
How did that... Are they going to be putting something in its place because we still have to hide the Grauman's Theater?
They're saying that's being completely removed from park maps. It's showing nothing in that spot. Okay. So I don't know if that's just Disney's tactic of not wanting to reveal its hand.
Okay.
But, I don't know why we can't see Grauman's Chinese Theater. I think it was, for the most part.
It was a legal issue, wasn't it?
It was a legal issue.
When they took back the MGM trademark?
When the contract with MGM expired, so did the contract with Grauman's. To use that.
And now it's not Grauman's anymore. Now it's, what is it?
TLC, TDC.
Oh, really?
Theater.
They change names out there?
Well, it's always going to be Grauman's Chinese Theater to me.
Yeah.
So,
but it's always going to be MGM to me.
Exactly. So I know it had something to do with that. There were legal reasons why they could no longer use.
They had to hide it behind that big thing so that people couldn't take pictures of it. They couldn't have the full view of it at any one point. So that large structure had to be put in place. I mean, with it there, as you can see, there's no way anyone can get a picture of the full building.
Right.
So I'm just wondering what changed to take the hat away, because now we'll be able to, thank God, look down the street like we used to be able to and see the theater.
These are the people that keep the scrim companies in business. There might be a 50-foot scrim up to prevent that.
I guess that's true.
Who knows?
And you don't know. I mean, it may be they'll put something in there. It's just not going to be the hat anymore.
There's also rumors of a name change to Hollywood Adventure.
Really?
Oh no,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
I had
that's
never
out
heard
there.
that.
Yeah.
Well, it would kind of make more sense. They don't really have too much studio stuff going on.
It's not a studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never really was.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day when they were filming something.
They would film in like, crappy little TV shows.
They filmed the Mickey Mouse Club. It's
Crappy little TV show.
No, that
There
was
used to
my
be
childhood.
Up front, where you can now is package pickup, that used to be the studio window. I saw Wheel of Fortune recorded there.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
They told everybody, the only thing they told you 4,700 times, don't talk to Vanna White. And Vanna walked right in front of my mother, and my mother said, "Hi, Vanna." And she turned around and she said, "Hi." And they came over, and because my mom was in a wheelchair, otherwise I'm pretty sure she would have gone to jail.
Wow.
Don't make eye contact with Anna.
But there was other things
Don't
there.
confuse the hot people.
You would be able to go in there in the morning and see what was being recorded that day and take tickets if you wanted. It was open to the public. You just stepped inside the turnstile.
That was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So now it's, it's not used for any of that anymore. And calling it a studio is ridiculous. Like I said, even in its heyday, it was arguable. But now, but I don't know. I don't know. I want to hear, before they start changing names, I want to hear, we kind of know what's coming with all this land they're clearing.
Right.
But I'd like to hear Disney make an announcement because, we know whatever it is they're going to do is going to take roughly 15 to 20 years to complete. So the sooner they announce it, the sooner,
They're just going to build parking garages.
For downtown Disney.
Yeah, for downtown Disney. So, which still isn't finished.
But they're allowing cast members to start parking in the new garage this coming week. And another
Is
entrance.
this like the test
It
audience?
is. It's like,
Yes.
They're
sure it doesn't collapse.
beta testing it.
Yes, and then December 1st, that entrance number 2, which is the one across from the Hess station, is closing so that they can start doing things down there for a parking garage. So I'm making the leap.
Another 2.5 year parking garage.
I got to tell you, long after Disney started this parking garage, they've added an addition. They've built an entire new shopping center at the Loop. Mm-hmm. It started after Disney started the parking garage, and it's starting to open. So they not only created, I think, 8 buildings?
It's embarrassing. It's
And I
embarrassing
understand
for
that
Disney.
it's special concrete, and you have to do all these things.
And look, don't get me wrong. I'm very excited about Disney Springs. I think Disney Springs is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And
Are you going to be willing to pay to park at downtown Disney?
of course, absolutely. For what I think Disney Springs is going to be, sure, absolutely, I would. I don't if I don't have to go through the hassle. Look, even before they started working on the parking garage and just mucked everything up, parking at downtown Disney was a challenge at best.
Yep.
If I can just go there and park without drama, absolutely, that's worth $10 to me.
I think you're also going to see things like if you eat in a restaurant, they will,
Validate.
And I think for annual pass holders, they'll probably do so. But,
That was my question.
but have they said for sure they're going to charge to park there?
No, but can't you see that writing on the wall?
No.
Do you think they're just going to build this garage and let people use it for free? Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't.
But look, I think Disney Springs is going to be awesome. I can't wait. I'm very excited about it. I just wish it didn't take so damn long. That's my only. And the lack of planning that went in to parking and how they were going to accommodate guests was so apparent and so obvious. And even after it was clear that this was a complete disaster, they really didn't do anything to change it. I don't think they could because they hadn't planned for it. They really didn't plan for it. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. People were going to start helicoptering in. I don't. But I'll just be happy when it's done. I'll be happy when we can park there without drama, and we can go enjoy Disney Springs because I am so looking forward to that.
One of the things that bothers me about the whole thing is they've widened that road and they're putting in that ramp from I-4. Now, if you're traveling on that road, you can see I-4 from Disney property. And it kind of bothers me a little bit. I don't think that should happen. You should be able to be in the Disney bubble and not have the world around you exposed. Just a minor thing.
I think the convenience of being able to get right to downtown Disney from I-4 is going to be worth that trade-off. Right now, think about it. When you're coming down I-4, you got to get off the Lake Buena Vista exit. You got to deal with that horrible intersection by Crossroads. Go down Hotel Plaza Boulevard. It's kind of a pain.
It's a big pain. I hate it.
I've always hated it. So, but I'm excited to see when Disney Springs finally opens in the spring of 2032.
If we're still around.
Really, I may not survive that long. So,
All right, and on to our third news story, which I promise I don't go out and look for dirty clothes stories. I just want you people to know this up front. Disney workers appeal firing over sweaty costumes. A crowd that gathered to watch one of the popular Festival of the Lion King shows at Disney's Animal Kingdom left disappointed one evening after it was abruptly canceled. Backstage, 3 performers had refused to don their animal costumes. Their unitards had been tainted, the employees argued, by other workers' sweaty garments that accidentally touched theirs.
Oh, gross.
The dirty costume pieces had been on a rack, and they said that someone had pushed up against them. The dirty costumes, cut that out. The dirty costume pieces had been on a rack that they said had somehow been pushed up against where their clean clothes hung. Walt Disney World fired the performers shortly after the canceled show, and now they are fighting to get their jobs back. The Teamsters Union that represents them is bringing the issue in front of a federal arbitrator later this year. The union argues Disney violated its contract by providing unsanitary clothing. Quote, "We felt the unitards that were clean had absorbed sweat from the costumes that were already there," said Doug Biederman, one of the performers. "We said we don't know what to do. Obviously wearing these costume pieces isn't an option because they're soiled. They're not wearable." Disney said it disagrees with the assertions and will make its case to the arbitrator. The company would not provide further details, saying it does not comment on pending arbitration. Though this was a one-time incident, Teamsters Recording Secretary and business agent Donna Lynn Dalton likened it to a controversy that arose in 2001 over Disney's practice of making workers share bike shorts and tights. In a contract agreement reached that year, Disney gave in and allowed each worker to have their own set. They are saints. They really are. In the current case, the workers said they feared getting a rash or skin infection. Performers can get clean unitards for each show, but they reuse their items such as headpieces, collars, and skirts. Those pieces had become wet with perspiration and were drying in the sun to be used again by the performers who had already worn them. One day in June, workers moved the used costume parts inside when it rained. Performers said they found the dirty garments pushed up against the clean ones. They also said they asked for the unitards to be washed, but that didn't happen. Managers had said the contact was minor, and the 3 performers' clothes were in acceptable condition. One of the fired performers, Pearson, said one manager suggested spraying the unitard with Febreze and told them, quote, "This is a make-it-work moment." Other performers were willing to go on stage either because they had outfits that hadn't touched the used costumes or didn't think the contact was worth making a fuss over. The union is seeking back pay and reinstatement. Pearson, 25, and Biederman, 24, are working elsewhere but would like to return to Disney. The third worker declined to be interviewed. The entire story is gross. Well, apart from the fact that they said the sweaty stuff touched them, they're making them reuse the other parts.
I don't know how to respond to this.
The headsets and the collars and things like that. Okay, whatever. No pun intended. Something don't smell right.
There's go ahead.
Look, I'm usually very pro-union. I think I just have this gut feeling that the union is trying to make something out of this. I knew those contract negotiations went too smoothly. I think the union is starting to try and flex its muscles now, and there's a reason for it. This just seems like, I've been watching some discussions and some things. The word Ebola is getting thrown around. That, and let me just take a moment on that. If you're worried about getting Ebola, stop it. Stop it. Okay? Turn the news off. You're not going to get Ebola.
I saw a tweet
unless somebody with Ebola throws up in your mouth. Okay? Shy of that, you're good. Or you're eating infected fruit bats. So
I can barely handle this conversation right now.
I read a tweet that said more people in the United States have played Batman in a movie than have had Ebola.
But it just, I don't know. This feels to me like the union's up to something.
Well, somebody was saying, there's a thread about it on the Diz, that the usual policy is you work it, you would have put those items on, and then you filed a grievance after the fact. And I guess even the union was upset that these workers didn't go do what they were supposed to do. But the article that came out, everybody seems to feel there's not enough details.
What bothers me is that they were fired. And
They didn't go on and do the show they were supposed to do. They deserve
Right.
to be fired. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Personally speaking, if, you know what,
I think that I don't know what else happened with these workers. I don't know what their background is, but if it seems to me like if they missed one show because of this, there should have been some sort of action taken against them. I don't know if firing was the right course of action.
I'm not so sure. Look, you know what? Not knowing all the details, it's really hard to make a judgment. I don't know how soiled these were.
Would any of you put on somebody else's sweaty clothes, or if something else had been laid, somebody else's sweaty costume had been laid on top of yours?
Depends how sweaty it was.
Okay, let's say it's bad. Would you put it on?
No.
There's levels of sweat.
Here's the deal. In the theater, the show must go on is an adage that's been around forever. But if somebody laid their sweaty clothes on top of my outfit that I had to put on, I'm not sure I would do it either.
No.
I don't know. See, I think I would do it under protest, but I would do it and then take it up after.
Right, because, I mean, it really isn't like you're going to, like, this is putting your life in jeopardy. It may be a little disgusting, but you got a show to do, and you got people that paid good money to be in this theme park waiting for a show.
I don't know, though. I mean, I agree. We don't have enough details, but if things were soiled enough that intimate parts of you were touching soiled garments, I just can't. No. That's a big no. No.
Sorry.
Not doing it.
I'm just wondering why they didn't have even more extras of these outfits. I mean,
That's a good
coming
point, too.
from all these both Dustin and I have worked at theme parks. They have hundreds of costumes. I don't know why then for a show or something like that they would say, okay, well, we'll just make enough to get by for one day.
Entertainment's a little bit different than like your average costumes for other areas of the business. But it's my thought is, do they not have a clean rack and a dirty rack?
That's my other thing. Why wouldn't they wash the unitards?
The implication is that the clean stuff was on one side and the soiled stuff was on the other, and they happened to be pushed up against each other, and that's why they didn't want to wear it. So that's what the story is saying.
That makes it sound less dramatic.
Well, again, we don't know the details, so it is really difficult to make a judgment on this but something about it doesn't feel right. So I'm interested to see what happens and if more details come out about this.
One of the things that was in the sort of expanded story was that Disney is saying, they kind of have to stand their ground on this because, where is the line drawn? Right. At what point do they close a show down because one person says they don't want to wear a uniform, a costume, and they might be the centerpiece of the show? At what point are they held hostage? But I don't know. I kind of agree with Greg in saying, well, why couldn't they go and find another outfit to put on? And it just seems very, very strange.
They should have more.
It seems strange to me that they were fired on the spot for it or fired for it. It's just all very odd.
Oh, I think more will be revealed, and I'm interested to see what that looks like. But all right, thank you, John. That's going to do it for the news. We're going to move on to our Caption this photo from last week. We had a picture of Corey in the prop warehouse at Hollywood Studios lifting a prop barbell. Carrie Nelson says, Carrie Nelson did a little work on this photo and put Kevin's head on Corey's body with the caption, "Look, I can do it too, Corey." Which I thought was cute. Tom Stowe, as usual, Corey can be found propping up the bar. His reputation precedes him. And Paul Somerville, this is not the bar crawl I was expecting.
That's
There's a theme.
There's a theme. But for this week, we decided to do a Where in the World. I sent you that picture, right?
Yes.
And
I didn't crop it in or anything. That's okay?
Okay, that's all right. We're going to put it up on Facebook this afternoon, facebook.com/DizUnplugged. And
well, I mean, what I'm saying is I have it here, but I didn't zoom in or anything. This is the way you want to present the photo, right?
I just sent you just the block, right?
It's a square.
It's a square, and it's not...
It's
The
right
one
there.
that's over your shoulder.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's the one I wanted.
Okay, there it is.
I decided to make this one a little easier.
Okay, that's why I wasn't sure.
Because the past few I've picked out have been absurdly hard.
Incredibly difficult.
So this one's a little easier. Don't anybody here weigh in, but I think this one should be a little easier to get. Facebook.com/DizUnplugged if you are listening and not watching right now and want to see what the picture is. And go tell us where you think this is, and we'll tell you where it is on next week's show. And with that, we will move over to Rapid Fire. And we will start with the lovely and talented
Oh, I love that.
John Magi.
So glad you were going to me. All right, so Disney Cruise Line just this morning, hot off the presses, brand new information. They revealed ports and itineraries for early 2016. In Disney Cruise Line fashion, we have just the first quarter of 2016 released. They're obviously working on other stuff for the summer and other destinations.
Well, no,
and
honestly, for
itineraries.
as annoying as it is for us as being in the travel business that they do this, it really is, it creates demand, and these things book like crazy. So they've really gotten very good at doing this.
Well, the good news is I think that they're able to, get out the itineraries that they have put in place. I don't think they're holding the summer ones because they want to build anticipation. I think they have to finish those contracts and, those.
I think they're
reports.
building anticipation.
All right. All right, so for the early 2016, Disney Cruise Line introduces 2 new popular Caribbean destinations as part of their itineraries: Tortola, British Virgin Islands, and Martinique. You're going to see the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy doing their typical cruises out of Port Canaveral, but what we're going to see here is, where do I have it? The Fantasy is going to be doing St. Martin or Tortola, St. Thomas, and Castaway Cay, and then 3 days at sea. And then I had it here just a second ago. There's going to be 7-night Southern Caribbean cruises on the Wonder again, departing from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and they're going to do Barbados, Grenada, Martinique, Antigua, and St. Kitts.
That sounds like a really nice cruise.
Sounds like a fun itinerary, doesn't it? So some interesting
And
stuff.
how many sailings is that they're doing with the Grenada and St. Kitts? And
2016, the Southern is 1, 2, 3, 4.
okay, that's nice.
4 sailings. And then the Disney Magic is also going to be doing some sailings out of Port Canaveral as well, sort of alternating between the Fantasy and the...
Now those Southern Caribbeans are going out of San Juan?
Yes.
Okay.
7-night Southern Caribbeans on the Disney Wonder from San Juan, Puerto Rico.
I think I want to do one of those.
Early January.
Who's going with me?
She
None of
raises
you
her
can
hand.
go. It is the wave. None of you may leave.
Oh, I'm going.
All right, there you go.
I'll wave as we're leaving port.
There's also going to be the 5-night Western Caribbean cruises on the Disney Wonder and the Disney Magic from Miami as well. So all of this stuff is actually now, as far as I know, Corey said everything is up on the Diz. All this information is there. Dreams Unlimited Travel, all of our forms have been updated if you want to go and get a quote. Tomorrow will be the highest level.
Platinum and gold tomorrow,
Platinum
and then
and gold.
silver and the public on
The unwashed.
Thursday.
Platinum and Gold Castaway Club members can book tomorrow, and then the rest will be after that. So, at least I give Disney Cruise Line props for changing it up a bit. I mean, I think what happens is we all go, oh, who wants to do another Western or another Eastern?
Now change the shows.
But now they have something like San Juan going to different ports. It makes it interesting.
I like that.
It makes it fun.
Excited about that.
Good information, good news. I don't know when we're going to see the rest of 2016, probably early 2015.
Do you know Podcast Cruise 5 is my 25th sailing
Is it
on
really?
Oh,
Disney?
wow.
On Disney.
Wow.
Yep. It's my 25th sailing.
Pretty special.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I know, it's very special. I know other people have more, and some that's, but for me that's pretty cool. I'm like, wow, 25 times.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Mm-hmm. It is a lot for like normal people, but for Disney fans, it's like, oh, okay. I'm at 28.
How many? We have a lot of Royal Caribbean sailings. We have something like.
We have nights. They now go by nights.
Yeah.
And we are at 198 nights.
Well, because and 140 of them were in April.
We did. That's how we catch up. Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Kevin.
I have a couple of things to talk about if you're interested in traveling with us, traveling with Diz. The first thing is the second San Francisco Backstage Magic trip is available August 1st through the 9th, 2015. The July trip sold out, but we do have the second trip available. I do have space available. I just found out that the internal flight from San Francisco to Los Angeles is going to be under $100.
Wow.
Per person. That would be in addition to the $52.99. This is a pretty amazing trip. We have a guided tour of the Disney Family Museum, Lucasfilms. That's in San Francisco, and then you do the Backstage Magic trip. So it's a pretty cool thing. If you're interested, Kevin at Dreams Unlimited Travel. We also talked about the fact that we were going to add something new in 2015, and several people have already signed up for a Viking cruise. We are going to be sailing from Paris to Paris.
And this is not like we're not on a Viking ship like with funny helmets
Yes, we are.
singing songs. This is the company Viking.
No, then we
Viking
set
River
people on
cruises.
fire and we throw them out to sea.
We're going to pillage and plunder. This is on
Cruise
Viking
lines.
River Cruises, October 19th through the 26th. We chose this trip for several reasons. First of all, it's our first bite of Viking cruises. We want to try something new. We've also realized that this is a 7-night cruise, which allows people to use 1 week of vacation as opposed to breaking into your second week. Vacation time is valuable. You can buy round-trip airfare Paris to Paris. You don't have to fly into one city and out of another. And it's a great itinerary. It's out the Seine to Normandy and back.
And actually, even though they're like Delta, it doesn't have October for next year ready yet on their website. Looking at September, which is usually fairly similar, actually October tends to be a little less expensive. I was seeing round-trip Charles de Gaulle from Orlando in coach for $1,000 a person. So it looks like the airfare pricing may be really reasonable.
Kevin has some information, but one of the things I wanted to mention is if you book air through Viking, your transfers are included. So that's a nice perk. They'll meet you in the airport. And we know people who have done this trip, and they say it's incredible. They take you, they show up and they have the sign, and it's a luxury transportation either to the ship or to your pre-cruise destination. So one of the things you could look at, too, is if there's published air, you might be able to book the published air through Viking.
You can also book air through Viking, and it seems to be very reasonable. So I don't have facts and figures on that because I would have to let you know what it is from everywhere. But if you're interested, we could do that. The pricing starts at $23.56 per person in a standard stateroom.
And
that's with a window.
Want to let people know that with these river cruises, what's popular about them is that it goes places regular cruise ships can't go. It goes into a lot of these smaller places, these smaller ports, and everything is included. Your alcohol, your food, your shore excursions, everything is included in this price. It's not, that's your stateroom. Am I right?
I just have to tell you something I've learned. Alcohol is included. Your drinks are included at meals. If you wish to drink other than that, you have to pay for it, but they do have a beverage package.
Okay. Oh, so it's a beverage package. It's not like you get house wine all day if you want. It's it's kind of like Royal Caribbean has
It's Royal
those
Caribbean, yeah.
packages.
It's one price actually for the entire stateroom.
But still, even alcohol at your meals or drinks at your meals, that's pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
really good.
I'd say so.
And their things are different. It's hard to compare this to a Royal Caribbean or a Disney cruise because they do work very differently. The unlimited drink package is $420 per stateroom.
Per stateroom.
Per stateroom.
That's really reasonable.
I think it is if you're going to go and you're going to drink and for the most
These are also smaller ships. And, we've been talking about wanting to do a river cruise for a few years now.
I think this is a good taste. I think this is a good way to get our No puns intended.
Plus
Our
we
feet
can
wet.
add on at Disneyland Paris, which is like
which we're going to look into for sure. See if maybe we can get some.
Now,
some box of
I
rooms.
was told that they do offer a 3-night pre-night stay. It's $8.99 per person. It excludes an excursion and breakfast every day.
includes.
What did I
Is
say?
it excludes?
Includes. Sorry. At the Hotel de Collectionneur Arc de Triomphe, and I've looked at it online, and it looks like a lovely hotel.
So it's not the Hilton Arc de Triomphe we were at.
Nope, it's the Hotel Collectionneur.
The Collectionneur Arc de Triomphe.
Hotel du Collectionneur Arc de Triomphe.
Tell them about.
The prices start at $23.56 for an inside stateroom that has got a window. That's per person, and it goes up to $57.56 for a veranda suite. That's with a balcony. If you are interested in doing this and you book before October 31st, they offer $150 per passenger off, so you would get $300 off for 2 people off the total price. Prices will change November 1st, but they cannot tell me what they are or what the promotion will be.
I just want to go back to that pricing for a minute. You mentioned the top price. There's actually a couple of verandas that are not as expensive, which I think is a good thing. Read that top veranda stateroom A.
There's another veranda that's $39.56 per person. There's another veranda after that that's $36.56 per
And
person.
you're talking about location on the ship, and
But these are also, just so people understand, these are smaller staterooms than what we're accustomed to on larger ships. This is a smaller ship. The staterooms are smaller. Even the big suites are about 400 square feet, 450 square feet. Most of these veranda staterooms are about 225 square feet. So factor that in. But this is all about the ports, and I think you spend a lot of time in port with these.
Mention the shore excursion.
The other thing, just before we get to that, I just want to say one thing. Unlike the ABD trips where we have to meet a minimum threshold in order for these trips to go, we don't have to do that with this. So we're doing this trip. So
We've already made our deposits.
yeah, we're doing it. You want to come with us? Come with us.
We already have 2 suites on the ship, and then a whole bunch of other folks have already signed up. So we're going.
We're going to Paris. We're going to Giverny and Vernon. We're going to Rouen. Rouen used to be the capital of France earlier than Paris. We're going to the Normandy beaches.
That is something I really want to
too.
see. That's
Me
the main
too.
reason I want to do this trip.
We're going to see the ruins at Les Andelys and Conflans, and then we're back in Paris. Again, you can add Disneyland Paris on. We haven't got that worked out yet, but we might be able to help you book your Disneyland Paris stay. So this is October 19th through October 26th. Here's the bad part. This ship is approaching maximum capacity. There are staterooms, as far as I know, there are staterooms in every category still available. However, I booked 3 of them yesterday. So if you're interested in joining us in Paris,
And how much is the deposit?
it's $1,000 per couple. It's $500 per person. However, as soon as you make your deposit, there is a $100 per person penalty for canceling immediately. There's no safety window. If you cancel it after you've deposited, it's $100 per person. And final payment is due, unlike other cruises, final payment is due 6 months prior to departure. So your final payment would be due April 17th, I believe.
Okay. Very excited.
I'm very excited. It's very new for us.
I'm actually very excited to go back to Paris, which I didn't think I
We're
would
really
be.
excited to go back to Paris.
I have added a 3-night pre-stay for you. Now, what's nice is that
Are you doing it too?
What's nice is that those are removable up until you make final
Oh, no,
payment.
I definitely want that time in Paris, and I want some time in Disneyland Paris when we're done.
Well, what I'm hoping to do is once we know how many people book and how many people are on the ship, is I will go to Disney and see if we can get a block of rooms at some kind of reduced rate. I don't know what we're going to be able to do because it's just so expensive.
It's so expensive.
But I mean, at least if we are holding a block of rooms, we can.
John said he wants to go back to Disneyland Paris too, and I told him yes, under one condition, that I get unfettered time in Paris with no other commitments.
That'll be the first couple of days. I want to mention about the shore excursions. I mean, shore excursions are included. It's like one shore excursion every day. And it's, a preset thing that they do with everybody on the ship. So it might be anything from a bus tour of Paris to going out to Normandy. So that's nice in that that's not an extra expense that you have to do, but you also don't have to do it.
You also don't tour as a ship.
That's good.
Which kind of scared me, you know. They break you up into groups of 20 to 25 people, and that's a tour group, which is much more manageable. I figured if there's 400 people on this ship, we're all going to get on a fleet of buses and go one at a time.
What I like about this too is this is a lot less expensive way to see Paris than when we did the London-Paris trip, which was, we tried $10,000 a person.
And I tell everybody when I book their ABD trip, all of the things that are listed are included in the cost of your trip. You are not required to participate in any of it. If your idea is great fun, is laying on the ship and you buy the extra drinking package and drinking your way through an afternoon, you're welcome to do that. You are not required to take tours or participate. I think the fact that the shore excursions are included is pretty amazing. I think if you look at Disney Cruise Line or Royal Caribbean and you look at shore excursions, you're easily talking $250 a person to do these things. Mm-hmm. This is all included in your price. All meals are included. Gratuities are not included. Viking River Cruises suggests $12 per day per person, and that would cover everybody on the ship. You don't break it down into waiters and servers and room stewards and things like that. Good. It's $12 per day per person, and then that is divided amongst the staff. Always you can add more to it. Transfers are $60 per person from the airport to the hotel or to the ship, or from a hotel to the ship and back. But if you decide to book air through Viking, then transfers are included.
And if you're interested in this trip, Kevin at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin. Jenny Land.
My rapid fire is so boring compared to all of that. How am I supposed to follow that?
You had all this time to work on it. You couldn't make it better? So disappointed.
I don't make the news. I just report it. Okay, so I really feel so small right in this moment. The Move It, Shake It, Play It celebration has debuted. Okay.
Oh, God.
Sorry,
my headset's too loud anyway, so.
It debuted on October 24th. Has a new theme song, everybody, called Party Up. And they've added a few elements. They're now encouraging you to take selfies while you are enjoying the celebration with the hashtag Move It, Shake It, Pics. That's PICS. And am I right, Kathy? In the parade, some of the floats now have screens attached to them.
All of them do.
Right. So by the end of the parade, if you have posted your pictures with that hashtag on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, you have the chance of seeing your photo appear on the screens on the floats, which is kind of cool.
Which is about...
okay, they did this with the Castle Projection Show. The people who had their pictures taken in the park that day might be... And that was a big bomb.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same with
and this is basically
but they
the same
also
thing.
did it at the Frozen Summer Fun thing. They had a big billboard on the main street, and if you took your picture selfies with Olaf, the Olaf Summer Fun, my picture showed up on the billboard. I got kind of excited about it. I felt like I was acknowledged in some way. But anyway, so this is a small way to do
Should
that.
we chip in for her therapy now?
Sorry. I'm trying to make this as exciting. I don't have a river trip to talk about. Okay, also, the Play It part is the new part of the celebration. The crowd gets to choose from 3 songs to discern what's going to be the next song that's played. They offer you the songs. They have everyone cheer. The song that gets the loudest applause is the one that's selected and then played. The end.
Yeah. It was opening day. It was Happy by Pharrell. And I forget what the second one was. And the third one was the Taylor Swift song, which is the one that won. So everybody danced to Taylor Swift in the streets.
I broke up with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I don't
One
like...
of the guys in New Direction was mean to me.
I don't like being interactive. I want them to do it all for me.
Yeah, really. Don't make me do anything.
Only for my $100 a day, entertain me.
I think this one...
Dance for me, monkey.
I like the first one. This one, the music and stuff's going to have to grow on me. And I also didn't like as you're facing the castle, as you come up Main Street, to the right, where we usually stand for parade pictures? where the trash can is, where there used to be I know you're looking at me with that blank look, but I know
1,000 trash cans.
No, you come up Main Street as you're starting to go into the circle, right there on the right-hand side. So we stood there. Well, now what happens during the show, there comes a time that they let everybody that's been building up down on the street come up, and now you've picked the perfect spot to take pictures, and they let the crowd come and stand right in front of you.
Oh, nice.
So I need to find a new place to stand. It just, crowd control for this parade needs to be improved.
Did people seem genuinely happy that there was pop music playing in Magic Kingdom? Because that just sounds awful to me. I mean, it's the Magic Kingdom.
As happy as they are about chainsaws in Epcot.
I don't know, there was
Walt
an
Disney
awful
would be
lot of
rolling
people.
in his grave.
There's a lot of people. I thought the first one, I thought it was I liked it because I thought it was catchy, and it sort of gave it like a party atmosphere. This one, it's like,
But that's the theme song for Despicable Me 2.
yeah,
So-
this
True.
one.
That's a very valid point. That is kind of a universal type song.
But there
it's
was a
such
lot
a
of
good
people in the
song.
streets
Well,
dancing. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to see it in order to pass judgment on it. Right now, it's like, wake me up when you're done talking about it.
If my children were still younger, they're probably getting to be a little bit 12 and 14. My older ones might not be so impressed, but my 10-year-old would get into this. It would be something I would have fun with her doing. We would get out there and dance together and be silly and take selfies and cheer when they appeared on the screen.
I'll just be happy when the conversation is over.
It is now done.
Thank you. Jenny Lynn, Kathy.
Mine's really rapid. It's not exciting. The Hess station near the boardwalk has reopened.
Well, I'll tell you why that is exciting.
I know. I was like, I find that exciting.
I do
I'll
too.
tell you why. I'll tell you why. When we were at the FAM
Right.
last week, and I didn't realize that I was out of gas as I was leaving Hollywood Studios, and I didn't have enough to get to another gas station other than the one across from downtown Disney on a Saturday night.
Oh.
At 8:00. 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Oh, that's bad.
I'm not exaggerating. It took me 40 minutes to get from the entrance of Hollywood Studios to the gas station across from downtown Disney. It took me 40 minutes.
Wow.
I guess you could have looped around to the one at the Magic Kingdom. That's a pain too.
That's a pain too. The thing was, it was going to be
Well, when I say that I wasn't sure how far I was going to make it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm usually not that bad. Usually I'm very aware of how much gas I have. But for some reason, this escaped me. And, I hear the dinging going off when I'm, pulling out of the parking lot. And I'm like, oh, my God, I got no gas. I'm not going to make it home.
We did. The fam was at the beach club, and we went home. Or I went home every day and at night and came back in the morning, and it was very inconvenient because I thought, I'll just stop in and get a coffee.
Yeah.
That's a great gas station.
It is.
So
It is,
I
yeah.
don't know what they had to do. They probably had to do regular maintenance to it.
And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Kudos to Hess for not gouging the
Right.
prices because they're on Disney property. What you're getting at that gas station is the same price you're going to pay 25 miles away from the tourist corridor. They have one price for Hess, and I give them major props because when Exxon had the concession, they weren't doing that.
Right.
No.
They were gouging the heck out of those prices. So, all right, thank you, Kathy. Dustin, back to you.
Yeah, I have the fact that there's new merchandise from Disney's Big Hero 6 that's coming to the theme parks, and it's kind of your basic stuff for movies. Obviously you're going to have your books, toys, plushes, stuff like that. But there's also some theme park exclusive stuff that they have there. The D-Tech iPhone cases are going to be available for Big Hero 6, and some Vinylmation and select pins, like a set of 6 exclusive pins. But they're also going to have a limited release graphic Magic Band that you can get at retail locations that sell the Magic Bands, and you just have to link it to a ticket to get it if you like Big Hero 6 and want one of those Magic Bands. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, so
Awesome.
check it out.
All right, thank you, Dustin. Gregory?
Okay, there are Florida resident discounts for Florida residents for Disney
There
cruises.
are Florida resident discounts for people in Georgia.
Oh, I did not mean to put that in that slide.
I always read that first, so my bad.
That's so funny.
It's good. We'll get through it. So if you book
Let's make it work, guys. Put on those dirty unitards and let's get to work.
Never forget.
if you book some. Sorry, I'm blanking out now. So, book by November 2nd. Some eligible cruises on Disney Cruise Line. If you go to the Diz, there's a link right on the homepage that will take you to all the discounts, but some of them are as cheap as $90 per night per person.
For Florida residents.
For Florida residents.
I'm so sorry. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Florida resident discounts for Florida residents. It's supposed to say Disney Cruise Line resident. I don't know.
For Disney Cruise Line residents? Florida resident discounts for Disney Cruise Line
things happen
residents.
to good sentences.
Booked by November 2nd, Florida residents.
Hashtag Florida residents.
Hashtag Florida residents.
Do I have to be a resident to book this?
I give up on that one.
I'm so sorry, Craig.
He saddled you with that.
You know.
It's Dustin's fault. He saddled you. He saddled you with that. All right. Now, I've been thinking about it throughout the show. For next week's poll, I think I'm going to put something up about sweaty unitards. The show must go on, or they have a point. So we'll put that poll up a little later on today. Facebook.com/DizUnplugged. Hey, listen, I'm working without a net here.
Sweaty unitards, yes or no?
Pro sweaty unitard, anti-sweaty unitard. All right, that is going to do it for me this week. Coming up next, Dustin and the team are going to talk about mistakes people make when planning their Disney vacations. So have a great week, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. And always remember, stay out of the damn lakes. And I have music. Yay. Bye.